On this life flight, a horse riding accident ends with a 111 call.
Quite a shock. I'm trying not to cry.
A critical mission to save a life.
We don't want her heart to stop beating. The worst possibility is that she could have a cardiac arrest with this.
And a night rescue.
Really frightened. I can't believe it's happening.
With everything at stake.
Patient is at risk of losing that limb.
When emergencies strike, time, distance, and the men and women of life flight can be the difference between life and death. This is Life Flight. Members of the public have called 111 after a serious horse riding accident.
Linear gas, gauges all green, warning lights are out.
Pilot Harry Stevenson and crewman Logan Taylor lock in the coordinates for the 130-kilometre journey northeast to Castle Point. 13-year-old Jessica Long was on a pony club camp when a horse reared up and kicked her. Now she is badly injured and in pain. Intensive care paramedic Hernan Holiday is preparing for a worst-case scenario.
Yeah, this type of injury can be quite serious if there could be damage to blood vessels, arteries, veins, to nerves, in danger for the whole limb.
An ambulance has just arrived at the remote paddock. Paramedics Jonathan Rees and Keith Harpham have started assessing Jess's injuries.
Hello, I'm Hernan Jess. Okay, with the helicopter crew. You okay?
Mum Adie rushed to the paddock from the camp kitchen, but seeing her daughter in such a state is difficult.
Oh, I'm trying to be brave. I'm trying not to cry, yeah, no, it's pretty, quite a shock.
Meanwhile, the fixed wing team are on a mission to Nelson. Administrator Bev went to the doctor yesterday, complaining of a racing heart, and scans revealed her aortic artery could burst at any moment. Dr. Orla Ryan is worried the potential aneurysm makes Bev a ticking time bomb.
What we don't want is for a very significant rupture that would drop her blood pressure and possibly cause her heart to stop beating. So the worst possibility is that she could have a cardiac arrest with this.
Captain Mike Barnes and pilot Dave Smiley touch down, and the medical team make the quick trip to Nelson Hospital, where their assessment confirms the worst.
Might potentially be a very serious situation if she was to have a big tear of the main vessel coming from her heart. So the blood could either leak into the wall of the vessel itself, or it could go around the heart, which could cause the heart not to pump properly. So that's why the surgery needs to be done as soon as possible.
At 71 years old, Bev still works full-time and lives independently. She was shocked to hear that her condition is critical.
I'm not quite ready to go yet, so I thought, well, I better do as I'm told. But it's a bit disappointing because I was supposed to be going on the Queen Mary 2 cruise in 2 weeks, but I won't be doing that now.
Back at Castle Point, Hernan is assessing 13-year-old Jess, who is struggling with severe pain after being kicked by a horse.
And what happened exactly?
A horse, she was on her horse.
Yep.
And another horse was riding beside her and it kicked her.
Oh, while she was on top of her horse.
Yeah,
okay.
And had shoes on, so it was quite a big...
Yeah.
Louise's horse unexpectedly kicked Jess, and she reacted immediately to help her young charge.
It was kicked back
with the front, okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, she was about a metre behind me. It's not your fault.
No, I just feel horrible about it.
Jess, you have a bit of pain, more or less pain, or a lot of pain?
I don't know.
In the middle?
Is it really, really bad? Or
It's
is it
really,
not
really
so
bad?
Like 8.
Okay, good.
The pain isn't going away, but the idea of a needle is increasing Jess's stress.
You brave enough for that? I guess so.
You're in Marston and her dad's going to be waiting.
The needle is in there. Can you see the needle in there? So there is just a little plastic tube.
It's already been in.
Yeah, it's been in and out.
Yeah, it's been in and out, darling. Yeah.
Jess's foot is strapped up securely and the team need to get going.
Yeah, on the radio. Okay. She's shaky, but she's very brave. She's doing very well.
We're going to be in Masterton Hospital in about 6 minutes or so. What's the name of your horse? Faith. And the bad horse that kicked you?
Meanwhile, the Life Flight fixed wing team have arrived at Nelson Airport with widower Bev, whose largest artery is at risk of bursting open. Over half the people who suffer aortic aneurysms don't make it to hospital.
Yep. So this chap in the vibrant yellow jacket is Dave. He's one of our pilots.
Any increase in Bev's blood pressure could cause a fatal tear, and the grandmother is doing her best to remain calm.
Quite scared. Just the whole thing, really.
Power set, 70 knots. Check my controls. Your controls.
We know already that Beverly has an aneurysm of one of the major vessels coming out of her heart, and there is a risk that because of the size of it, it could rupture. The best option for Beverly at the moment is to have it operated on as soon as we can. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Life Flight team are responding to reports of a mountain biker stranded in pain in the Makara Hills west of Wellington.
You'll sit in the back? That's good, thanks.
Pilot Dean Herrick and crewman Julian Byrne are tasked with trying to locate the injured man, but the details are sketchy.
Tom, 01 Wellington. On track to Makara Park mountain bike track.
35-year-old Richard McNabb lost control down a steep bank, went flying over the handlebars and is now in a lot of pain. Cycling friend Matt called 111 and is now talking directly with Julian.
Tell us exactly whereabouts you are on the track, mate. We're right at the top of the Makara bike park, you know.
Matt's mobile phone contact with the Westpac rescue chopper is the injured man's best chance of being located and rescued, but the signal is breaking up. The Life Flight team are attempting to find a mountain biker injured in the Makara Hills, and his friend is the best bet to locate the man.
So you tell us when you can see and hear us. You should be able to do that shortly. Just sound the phone for us. And the entrance to the track. I can see you coming towards me now. Yeah, roger that, mate.
The team land on a small outcrop. Intensive care paramedic David Chittenden spots the mountain biker's mate.
How's it going? Dave's mate. The guy's just down the road here.
Did he lose consciousness at all?
I pulled out for a while before I came back and I hadn't heard anything.
Okay.
Father of two, Richard, only narrowly avoided being flung down the steep drop.
Handlebars pinned my leg and then the seat went back into my shoulder blade.
Right.
And I'm not sure if I heard a snap or anything, but it went in there pretty deep.
Sorry about your shirt, mate.
I'm not concerned, there's the least more worries.
So let's have a look at your shoulders here, mate.
So the front's all right.
Richard was previously airlifted out of the bush by rescue chopper when he had an allergic reaction to bees as a 12-year-old, and now he needs help again.
Yeah, it's getting painful down there as well.
Okay.
The Life Flight team are touching down at Wellington Airport with heart patient Bev.
70 knots, my steering, taxi locks in, landing checklist.
The feisty 71-year-old's holiday of a lifetime on an ocean liner has had to go on hold.
I was sailing on the Queen Mary 2, going up to the Bay of Islands, across to Sydney and down to Melbourne.
Widower Bev tried to put off the open heart surgery until after her cruise, but flight nurse Peter Roundtree knows the risk the grandmother was placing herself in.
If Bev had been on that cruise ship and her aneurysm was discovered there, it probably would have been under extremely emergent situation. A lot of things are just time critical with getting them to their destination to have that intervention, which ultimately will save their life.
While Bev gets used to her makeshift stateroom, Sister Diane has rushed to hospital.
She means the world to me. Just be awful if anything had happened to her.
Back on the mountain bike trail, David is assessing injured biker Richard.
Shout scratch, mate.
Good job, man.
We just rang 111 and asked for an ambulance. So I was not surprised to see a helicopter turn up. The helicopter was a perfect solution for this. Would have been tricky for anyone else to get up here, to be honest.
Richard only started mountain biking a month ago, and his new passion may have to be put on hold.
Yeah, it was an extreme pain, and let's try to walk it off.
The trip up the hill is a lot slower going than Richard's descent, but the bike has come out the better of the two.
This is the bike. This is the culprit.
Matt's left to get both bikes back home, while Richard is facing a relatively comfy but painful ride back, care of Life Flight.
Is that pretty sore, mate, moving around?
Yeah,
I was ready to lift. Hey, fam, what's good? G'day, everyone out of Bankrupt Peak on track 1 from hospital.
The flight to hospital is quick, but Richard is still in significant pain as he heads into the emergency department.
just pretty happy that Life Flight were there to come pick me up. Like, it would have been a pretty hard walk down the mountain. So yeah, pretty thankful.
X-rays reveal multiple fractures to the shoulder blade. This isn't the first time Dr. Natasha McClay has delivered Richard similar bad news.
A couple of years ago when I broke my foot.
You're a bit of a repeat offender.
Yeah, I am.
You do have a fracture through your shoulder blade or your scapula. I can see 3 sort of small fractures through that scapula. Okay, so it seems to have gone into a few pieces.
Richard will spend the coming weeks in a sling as the bone heals.
A little bit gutting to find out that as a break, but yeah, just have to roll with the punches, unfortunately.
Meanwhile, the Life Flight air ambulance is tasked with a mercy mission to save a critically ill child. Baby Bella was born 11 weeks early. A valve in her heart has not closed, and the blood vessels in her lungs are overfilling. Flight nurse Claire Goodger and nurse specialist Darcy Stott are charged with the baby's care.
Sometimes these small babies, after delivery, the duct stays open and blood will then be, instead of going circulating around the body, there will be more circulated to the lungs. The lungs can't cope and handle with the extra blood flow.
The team land at New Plymouth Airport with the incubator that is needed to keep the tiny patient alive.
The norm can change very quickly indeed compared to an adult. So we've just got to use all the resources that we have with our monitoring and our clinical skills and making sure our babies remain stable at all times.
Meanwhile, pilot Harry Stevenson and crewman Julian Byrne are on a new mission to reach a young woman in agony.
Comms, g'day, Air 1 Wellington. Airborne out of Life Flight on track, Premature Airport. We are 4 POV, 2 hours fuel endurance.
Zoe Morgan turned 21 yesterday, but now a netball injury has her fighting against the clock to save her foot. The team are headed to the Kapiti coast with flight paramedic Nigel Stevens.
So the Life Flight rescue helicopter has been tasked with a mission to Premature. Road ambulance is meeting us at the airport with a patient who potential limb compromise, from what I gather. The patient is at risk of losing that limb.
The Life Flight team are approaching Paraparaumu Airport, where a young woman is at risk of losing her leg.
Program traffic Cav 01 is short finals 3-4.
The ambulance arrives as the team touch down. Inside, Zoe and mum Kate wait anxiously under the care of paramedic Damien McGlinchey.
Zoe, this is Nigel.
Zoe landed on an opponent's foot during a netball game, and her ankle was so badly damaged that the blood supply was cut off. Damien and paramedic Christine Galvin realigned the ankle, but the blood supply to the foot could still be compromised.
Oh,
Mum, it's starting to hurt again.
Yeah, okay, we're just going to get some pain relief. Slow your breathing down. Zoe.
Doing really well.
I'm giving you some more pain relief now. Right? Just try and slow your breathing down. Yeah. Listen, it's going to hurt. Zoe, listen to me. Zoe, listen. We can't take away the pain completely unless we make you unconscious, all right? And we don't want to do that.
Sister Georgia called Mum Kate, who rushed from home to be at her injured daughter's side.
I feel really worried because when I saw it, it was completely out of shape, and when they pulled it out, it was an awful sound. It was a horrible sound.
In New Plymouth, the team have been working for over an hour to stabilise 29-day-old baby Bella for flight.
You all right, lady?
I'll probably get Team to sit up the front here and we can at least seatbelt her in.
Bella was born 11 weeks early after Mum Christina suffered a torn placenta, but the tiny baby only developed breathing problems a few days ago.
Clear here, we're just leaving Taranaki base now.
Bella's breathing is compromised and she's at risk of heart failure. Keeping the tiny baby alive is a delicate balance for Claire and Darcy.
We're giving a lot of pressure to try and open the lungs out, and we don't want her breathing against the ventilator and causing any more problems.
Every breath is watched over carefully as crewman Joseph Huggins manages the transfer to the Life Flight Air Ambulance.
1, 2, 3. Enough?
Bella is secured and the team get going, but every bump or movement puts the little baby at risk.
Positive climb. Gear up.
She was a lot sicker than we initially thought when we arrived.
Back in Paraparaumu, the team are carefully moving Zoe towards the chopper, but the netball centre's pain is overwhelming.
Okay, yep. Okay, I'm right here, sweetie, okay? I'm not going anywhere.
Mum Kate was relaxing at home when she got the call.
I just said to my husband, quickly take me down there, and I panicked in the car. I let it all out and he said, what are you doing? You're panicking? And I said, no, I've just got to let it out now, and then when I get there, I can be strong. Because that's what mums do, isn't it?
You guys are all happy now?
Yeah, so I can lift right across, mate.
Yep. 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to gently float over. That's a girl.
Good girl, Zoe.
Awesome.
Good girl.
Perfect.
Kate is going to have to be strong as Zoe's pain increases.
Just really frightened, actually. And I can't believe it's happening. I'm here, sweetie. It's okay. I'm here. Okay.
Equipped with night vision goggles, the team are quick to get airborne.
Tom 01 Wellington. We're everyone out of Premature on track. Wellington Public. We'll be there in 12 minutes.
The journey is brief, but the gravity of the situation still has Zoe and Mum Kate worried.
It's not easy seeing your kids in pain. Doesn't matter how old they are. She just turned 21 on Monday. Having her big 21st this Friday. Oh dear.
X-rays provide radiographer Vivian Winiata with a clearer view of the damaged foot.
So I've done a good job putting it back. It all looks beautifully in line there. Can't see any obvious fractures. But that's the doctor's job to check that.
Orthopaedic specialists agree with the assessment, and the news brings welcome relief for Kate.
Great result. Very happy about that. She might be able to party on Friday night after all. Are you going to wear your heels?
No.
In Wellington, the Life Flight fixed wing plane is touching down with 29-day-old baby Bella. But the journey to hospital is filled with risks that Mum Christina doesn't want to contemplate.
It feels weird. It doesn't seem real yet. Just scared for her. Just, you know, you're thinking the worst case scenario.
As little Bella is moved into the ambulance, her oxygen levels become unstable again.
Just drop the saturation just a little bit. Just need a little bit more oxygen.
She doesn't like to be handled or moved or sudden bumps or anything like that. She's very delicate, very fragile.
Arriving at hospital, the crew are quick to get their patient moved into her new home. Mum Christina is struggling with the thoughts running through her mind.
A whole heap of things that she's not going to make it, but she'll be fine.
Blood tests and x-rays are taken to ensure Bella is getting enough oxygen to her brain, but specialists will need to decide if more drastic measures are required.
Hopefully Mum can get some rest tonight. It's been a big day for her. And it'll be a big few weeks for her possibly. Yeah, hopefully she has a good night, yeah.
29-day-old Bella was treated for a serious infection, but the valve in her heart closed naturally and she did not require surgery. She spent another 2 months in hospital before returning home to her family. Richard's shoulder healed quickly and he was back riding the trail 6 weeks later. Netballer Zoe spent the night in hospital and went home in a cast to stabilise her severely dislocated ankle. Zoe made it to her 21st party, but it took 4 months before she could walk without crutches. Horse rider Jess was diagnosed with an open tibia fracture and treated for infections in hospital for 4 days. She did not require surgery and went home in a cast. Bev missed her cruise holiday and spent a month in hospital after surgery to replace a valve and repair the artery in her heart. She is back at work 3 days a week and planning a new holiday.